Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert Newland. I'm the Acting Librarian of Congress. Thank you, which is a real honor and privilege. And this is my 7th introduction today. I am very, very lucky. But first, I need to know, are you having a good time? Yeah, so glad, it's so glad. And could I ask you, I want to recognize our fabulous volunteers. They are, and there's my favorite volunteer, Kathy Woodrell. Kathy, stand up so we can applaud. Long time and very famous librarian at the Library of Congress, and we miss you. So come on back, I did. So I have a confession to make to all of you. When I found out that Geena Davis was going to be speaking here and that Mac Barnett was going to be interviewing her, I decided to pull rank. And I said, I want to meet both of them. I want to do that intro. So that's one of the advantages of being a Librarian of Congress. You can make these things happen. And I thought, well, might as well take advantage of it while I can. But right now, I have the pleasure of introducing you to a very exciting session we're calling Geena Davis Makes Space with Her Picture Book. I'm sure many, if not all of us, have seen Geena Davis in movies such as Beetlejuice, yes, Thelma and Louise. Oh. I lost count after seeing it 15 times. A League of Their Own, yes. And for which she won her first Academy Award, The Accidental Tourist. Having conquered the silver screen, she has also conquered television, and you may have seen her in the wonderful TV series Commander-in-Chief. Well, I'm very pleased to introduce Ms. Davis on this stage as the author and illustrator of her debut picture book, The Girl Who Was Too Big for the Page. Joining her is our new Library of Congress National Ambassador for Young People's Literature, Mac Barnett. Mac is a 2-time Caldecott Honor winner whose books have sold more than 5 million copies and have been translated into more than 30 languages worldwide. Mac's ambassador platform, called Behold the Picture Book, explores the way picture books blend words and illustrations to create a uniquely powerful reading experience. And I have to tell you, I had the pleasure of introducing Mac at the annual meeting of the American Library Association in Philadelphia. And he was speaking in a theater that we had in our exposition space. So I met Mac, had everything ready to introduce. When I went out on the stage, the place was packed. You could barely move. And when he came out, there was this like thunderous applause. And I said, do you get this all the time? And he is clearly a rock star in children's literature. And after hearing him speak, I know why. He is just incredible. The last thing I want to tell you about him is who better to talk with the creator of a picture book that celebrates self-acceptance and resilience and encourages young readers to think boldly and dream even bigger, all through the character of Sheila, who literally cannot fit on the pages of a book she lives inside of. So with that, please join me in welcoming Geena Davis and Mac Barnett.
It's an odd chair.
Yeah, and it's swiveling, it's moving.
You asked?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is when it gets really intense. When I have an intense question for you, it's this.
And if I don't want to answer.
Yeah, that's right. I gotta address something real quick before we even get into it. And I need you to know this, Geena, and I need everybody to know this.
Uh-oh.
As the National Ambassador for Young People's Literature, first of all, congratulations on your first picture book.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
But also, please know, I'm legally required to wear this on stage. Like, I signed a contract that I would, so that's why I'm doing this. This isn't like, can you imagine, like, what if you had to, like, wear your Oscar around your neck?
Or I brought it with me. Oh, you can't hear me? I need this, I guess. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
So yeah.
It came less we thought.
Yes.
I always wear my medal.
Eyes up here. All right.
Awesome.
So, do you want to read for us first?
Oh, sure. What? Can you hear me if I read this? No, you can't. Okay, right. Rats. I don't have a free hand. Well, I'm gonna read you the book.
Do you need me to hold it for you or anything?
No, I think I can handle it.
All right.
For now, I can handle it.
Yep.
So, is there a screen? Oh, are they gonna show the pictures? Well, that's what is that?
Yes.
That's the cover. Okay. And then I think they're going to show the pictures, so I don't have to show you. So anyway, so once there was a girl who lived in a book, and she was rather proud of this because she knew that people would read the book and wonder about her and want to know just what her deal was. Yeah, hey, it's working. Okay. At the beginning of the book, she was still a baby, only just crawling, but soon enough, Sheila, for that was her name, learned to walk. And she was quite pleased with herself and checked to make sure that the people reading the book took note. And in due time, Sheila got some teeth and said words, wagga, gobble, ate pizza, and drew on the walls. But she did sometimes wonder if she really was interesting enough for there to be a whole book about her. When she started kindergarten, she suddenly had quite a number of friends. Some of them you never really got a good look at in the book. Sheila's best friend was so interesting and special that she marveled that Gloria didn't have a book all to herself. And all the while, she grew and got older, exactly 1 year older for every year that went by. Between third and fourth grade, Sheila and her family went away for the summer, far away from the front of the page, and people reading the book couldn't see them and couldn't tell much about what they were up to, running through the sprinklers and eating popsicles, one assumes. On the first day of fourth grade, Sheila was eager to see Gloria and her other friends and show them the cool rocks that she had collected over the summer. Oh, so that's what she'd been doing. But as she ran up to them on the playground, something didn't seem quite right. She was checking to make sure the people reading the book saw her sparkly green stone when she suddenly realized she couldn't see them. How strange. She tipped her head sideways. Oh, and there they were. Oh, goodness. Had she really grown that much during the summer? This changed everything for Sheila. She knew that as the main character of a book, it was important for the readers to be able to see her. Well, I mean, they could see her, but only about up to her neck. Morris, however, immediately saw the positive in this and wanted to be on her basketball team. She thought it might just be where she was standing, but it proved to be the same in the cafeteria and in the hallways. It was true. She had grown too big for the page. She tried standing in weird ways so that her head still showed, but it was really hard and also gave her a backache. Sheila was becoming very self-conscious. She retied her shoelaces a lot. And it didn't help that some of the kids had started to tease her and would say things like, "Hey, Sheila, how's the weather up there?" We can forgive her for that time that she replied, I can't hear you. Why don't you try standing up? Sheila pondered her fate as she lay on the seesaw to eat her lunch. Here she was, not even able to fit in her own book unless she was lying down across 2 pages. She couldn't stop wondering if the people reading the book might be regretting it by now. She had to try harder to fit in her book. At recess, she was playing jump rope, all scrunched down, of course, calling out the rhyme, and suddenly something really bad was happening. Cinderella, dressed in yellow, made a mistake and kissed a snake. Now her voice was too big to fit on the page, too. The other kids started gasping. Oh, why was this story about her when nothing about her fit in the darn book? Maybe if she just stayed as small as possible and stopped talking, the people reading her story would lose interest and just close the book. Just then, her friend Gloria came over. Gloria said, "Sheila, I have always looked up to you in more ways than one. And I like it when you're as big and loud as you really are. I like it that you take up a lot of space. You should get bigger, not smaller." Sheila thought about that. Suddenly, Sheila understood why she had her own book. She needed to learn that people are valuable and special no matter what is different about them. Now Sheila knew the answer. She wasn't too big. She just needed... Hang on, suspense. A bigger page. Sheila understood now that she didn't have to try to squish herself. She could always fit in. The world will grow as you do. You will be amazed. There we go. Thank you. Did they show the pictures?
No, I got it. It's a great book.
Thank you.
It's a great book, and it reads aloud so beautifully.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I've got some questions. We're gonna go back to the beginning. I did my research.
Okay.
We're going back to the very beginning. You have said that you were a tall baby.
Yeah. Yes.
What was that like?
I wasn't that aware of it at the time because I was like lying down a lot. So
Sure.
I wasn't quite aware of it.
When
but
you
yeah.
start, when you stand up.
Oh,
then,
yeah. Once I could stand up. Yeah. It's weird to be tall and little because people think you're older than you are. And so they expect more of you, and you're like still just a stupid kid.
Yeah. Did you feel self-conscious of it? Like, did you feel like, oh yeah, I'm noticeably tall, and that was something you noticed about yourself?
I mean, I did. I don't know that it bothered me exactly, but I knew that I was tall. And when I was a kid, everything in school was line up by height. For some reason. And till the day I graduated high school, I was at the end of the line.
You were, yeah, they put you back.
Yeah. I never had a growth spurt. It was just all...
It was just always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just steady. Yeah.
So, all right. This is your first picture book, but you have another career. Your first career, as I understand, you are an archer. Is that right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah. Tell everybody a little bit about that.
Okay, so I had to learn baseball for a movie, and I had never played a sport. I was very self-conscious in high school, and the girls' basketball team was constantly begging me, please, you're the tallest girl anywhere. And I said, but I don't know how to play basketball. And they were like, just stand there. But I was very physically shy. I didn't want people to watch me do anything. So I didn't play any sports. But then I got cast as a character who's the best baseball player anyone's ever seen. So obviously I had to train, and we had excellent coaches. But they soon started saying, wow, you have a lot of untapped athletic ability.
That's the dream. That as somebody who is terrible at sports constantly
You want
myself,
somebody to say-
I have been waiting my whole life for somebody to be like, you know what?
You know what?
You know what? I actually see it in you. You actually have an untapped athletic ability. You're like, I knew it. Nobody said that to me, though.
Yeah, they did. Anyway, so I was able to pull off, playing baseball. And then I had to learn other sports for other roles, like sword fighting and horseback riding and taekwondo and pistol shooting and ice skating, pistol shooting while ice skating, which is harder than it sounds. But, and I was kind of good at all of them. Sorry. And it made me think, well, first of all, I missed out on, being an athlete, but I wonder if I could take up a sport in the real way, not the movie version of it, and be good at it. Because as good as I actually got at playing baseball, any home run that my character hit, and I believe I only hit home runs in the movie. There's a lot of ball players like that.
That's probably what I would be like if I ever played baseball,
Well, with all your untapped
untapped
ability. So I would do the close-up of the, the mighty swing, and then the props guys had a giant slingshot that they sent the ball over the fence with, So, and I'll between us, I'll confess, when I catch the ball, who throws a Madonna, Rosie, somebody throws me the ball, and I catch it, and it goes whap. It was actually a squishy ball. And I had to be very careful not to squish it. Just go, and they put in a mighty whack. Anyway.
So then you say, I'm going to take up a sport the real way, and then you almost
I lost my total
make it to
train
the
of thought.
Olympics.
Oh, okay, so I saw...
You can go anywhere, though. I mean, I like the squoosh ball story. We can go.
Yeah, sure. I saw archery. I was watching the Olympics on TV in Atlanta, and there was a lot of coverage of archery because America was doing well. And I was like, wow, that is a beautiful sport. It's very, dramatic and cool looking. And I thought, I wonder if I could be good at that. So I got a coach, and he claims that at my first lesson, I asked, how old is too old to go to the Olympics in archery? That's obviously, that did not happen. I probably waited till the second lesson. That would mean I asked him that before I ever touched a bow. But anyway, I almost made the Olympics. So I took it up insanely, completely, 5 hours a day practicing, and I was 41 at the time, and 2.5 years later, I was a semifinalist at the Olympic trials. Yeah. I know that's happened to a lot of people.
Well, I ask you about that because it's not only a cool story, but I actually, I see the same seriousness that you're bringing here. And actually across that, so you keep, you are throwing yourself into this, right? You are learning baseball, you are learning ice skating and pistol shooting. You are saying, I'm gonna do this the real way, and I want to make the Olympics. And I will say, as a professional picture book author, we are always on the lookout for people who are just gonna dip in and dabble and not gonna take it seriously and just make a book. And you wrote a picture book.
Right.
Listen to how that thing read out loud. Those laughs, the way that that character was using the page, the voice. It's really brilliantly done, and I can tell that you approach it with the same seriousness you approach everything, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
I want to ask you, like, how did you decide you wanted to do picture books? How do you go, all right, I'm going to do archery the real way. Now I'm making a picture book. Like, how does that work?
You know, first, I just had an idea for the story, and I wrote it down. I don't know if I had already decided I'm going to the Olympics in books, but I wrote it out, and it just kind of flowed out, because I had the idea, what if there was a character in a book who knew they were in a book and knew that people were reading it? And I thought, what could happen? And so I wrote it all out, and I had it kind of kicking around for a long time, and then it wasn't the COVID, the quarantine. It wasn't then. It was after that. But at some point, I thought, you know, I got to find that thing and see if I could do it. And so I sold it, and I said that I wanted to do the illustration, even though I'm not an artist. I never studied art or anything, but I always have liked to draw and make sketches and just goofy little things to show friends. So I thought, well, but I know what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
So I decided that I wanted to illustrate it too.
So how long did that all take?
It took me almost 2 years to do the illustrations. First of all, because I'm insanely nitpicky. And maybe that's why I was good at taking up archery, because it's so nitpicky. So I worked and worked and worked, just on moving the eyeball here, there.
Yeah.
And even though it's a dot, it really makes a difference. And I had to learn a lot about how to do it. I had to learn more about art and perspective and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you talked about, because you have rules for yourself as you were making this too, right? To make that joke work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To make the joke work, all the characters had to be on the same line, which wasn't the bottom of the page, but an inch above the bottom of the page. Because if she could back up, she'd fit on the page, right? So the rule had to be that everybody, and that made it weird to make a group of people, because are they all standing in a line, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how it works. The only time I break the rule is when they go away for the summer.
That's my favorite spread of the picture book.
It is?
I think it is so funny. I laughed so hard, that one where they're just in the car and we're like, we don't know what she was doing now. Maybe eating a popsicle, I assume. It was such a good picture book idea. But all over, the laughs are all over. How did you get this voice? It is such it's a pleasure to read this book out loud. I read it to my son. It was great listening to you. It's sort of this mix of super chatty, where it's and everybody would wonder what her deal was.
Right.
But then this formality comes in too, with for that was her name, or one assumes. It begs the reader, the adult reading the story to a kid, to perform. You're playing a character when you read this book out loud.
Right.
How did you get that? It's so fun. I'm jealous.
I don't know. That's what came to me as the voice. Yeah.
Great.
No, there's a book you can read, and then you can do it. I don't know. It just came to me, but I like that sort of matter of fact, but also a little bit formal voice. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, it's a strange thing about the picture book, right? Is that we think about it as a book, as words and pictures on a page, but actually it's also sort of a script, because if you read this picture book out loud, now you have been cast as the actor who is going to play all the parts, narrate the story, do all the dialogue. We are all made to be actors, amateurs or professionals, when we read picture books out loud, and I just feel like you do us so many favors in this one. I wonder how you know how to write for actors. Would you read the dedication?
Yes. Will you open that
Yes.
for me? I got my hands busy now. The dedication says, "To the three darlings I read countless children's book to, I love you." And one of my loves is here. My son Kian is here with me, which is so great. Oh, thank you, thank you.
So what were some of your favorite picture books to read out loud?
Well, one of our favorites was called The Three Little Kittens, and it was an old book. It was black and white photos of kittens wearing clothes. And there was a mom kitten, and there were four little kittens, Buzz, Fuzz, Suzz, and Agamemnon. And he was the one always getting in trouble. We loved that story. They loved the pictures and the whole thing. But my favorite part was at the end on the last page, it says, "Did you enjoy that story? Good. Now go to bed." But I would read it. I'd read the whole book in a very nice mommy voice. I said, "Did you enjoy that story? Good. Now go to bed." They would laugh and laugh and laugh. That was fun. I liked Miss Spider's Tea Party.
Yeah.
Spider's Tea Party, and The Bugliest Bug was a big favorite. I had a lot.
I think it's so special, like just like you say, like the books that you read with your family, they become part of the family language. They become these in-jokes. Your son probably remembers that, like from when you do it now. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like it's a very powerful thing."
I love it.
Like, do you remember the picture books that you had growing up?
No.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I do remember one.
Yeah.
And I don't know because I wish I could find it. I don't know what the title was, but it was about a prince wanted to find a bride to marry, and there were three candidates, which happens a lot. And the weird thing was the tests that they had were all domestic tasks, like what princess has to. So they had to cook him a meal, sew him a shirt, and something else. But one of them was only about a foot tall. She was very tiny and perfect. And the first one, the sleeves were too long on the shirt, and the second one, the buttons didn't match up. And the little one made the most perfect shirt ever. It was a little small, but it was perfect. And then they had a cook for him, and one made this and that, and the little princess made soup. It was a very tiny serving, but so delicious. And anyway, he picked the tiny princess, and the last pictures them riding her, she's sitting side saddle on the seat in front of him, and they're going off to the castle to get married. And I think it's because I was so tall.
Yeah.
That I used to dream that I could be small. Yeah. I really wished that I could.
It's incredible that that is the book that you remember, and that this is the first picture book that you write, too. Like...
Yeah.
We did it. We did it. As a victory lap. All right, so those princesses doing domestic tasks to earn the love of a prince, this that just calls to mind. I feel like, would you tell us a little bit about the Geena Davis Institute? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so it started 21 years ago, and the entire impetus was when my daughter, who's the oldest, was a toddler. I suddenly realized, hey, I could start showing her preschool little kids shows. So I picked one, and we sat down, and she's watching, and almost immediately I was like, how many female characters are there in this show? And I look it up, and I never bust anybody publicly about anything, but there was a lot of male characters and one female character, and I'm like, why is that? And then we rented a movie Well, there were several movies that we watched, videos, and there seemed to be one female in everything. And I was like, well, wait a minute, this is actually a huge problem. This has a global reach because we're training kids from minute one to have unconscious bias. If they see that girls take up only this much space and have this much to do, and the boys are doing everything. So I didn't intend to let it take over my life, but whenever I had a meeting with somebody in my industry, I'd say, hey, by the way, have you ever noticed how few female characters are in kids' entertainment? And every single person said, no, that's not true anymore. That's been fixed. In fact, we helped fix it. And they would name a movie with one female character as proof. Like a lot of times people said, there's been Belle. It's all been fixed because there's been Belle. The character who had Stockholm Syndrome, there was a teapot.
I was gonna say, don't forget Mrs. Potts.
Don't forget. And I think a chest of drawers might have been female. But, yeah, or yes, and the thing is, they were absolutely positive that it had been fixed, that they helped fix it. They say, I'm a dad of daughters. We care. You don't know how much we care about girls here. And I was like, okay, it is utterly unconscious. They really mean well. People make kids entertainment because they care about kids. So therefore, if I was to get the data and show it to them, maybe that would make a difference. So that's what I did. I spent 2 years getting the largest research ever done on gender depictions in kids' TV and movies. And the point wasn't to educate the public. If I was able to talk to the creators directly, nobody had even know I ever talked to them. So that's what I did. I started meeting with studios and production companies and everything and sharing it with them. And it just made sense. It just made sense. But the reaction everywhere, every meeting we've ever had, is their jaws were on the ground. They truly had no idea, absolutely no idea, that they were leaving out that many girls. Yeah. And so immediately change started happening. Yeah.
I talk to people in children's media, in film and TV, and they all talk about the Geena Davis Institute as this worked. It got better. Change happened. Nothing's perfect, but people say this is what did it. It was getting that data. It was something that really changed things.
Why did I have to name it after myself? I really regret that. I wanted to call it See Jane, like See Dixie. Mm-hmm. We see plenty of Dick. But we just don't see enough Jane, that's all.
I did a lot of research. Every interview that I listened to or watched with you, always the last thing somebody's and you're also an amazing pumpkin carver, but we're out of time. And I was like, that is not gonna happen to me.
You're gonna ask
it is
early?
September. I need to know how to carve this pumpkin. But I am horrified to say that it is time for audience questions. And it has happened once again.
You did it.
I messed up.
The one thing you did.
The one thing I was gonna do.
Too bad, because I could have taught.
You went really long on that Geena Davis Institute answer, really. But if we have audience questions, we have 2 mics up here. So if you have a question that you would like to ask, please come on up and we will take some questions from you.
Hello, may I go first?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Leela. Thank you so much for coming here. Geena Davis, I heard you speak at American University about 10 years ago about your work on representation and women in the media. So my question is, I have a story, and I'll tell you the title, and I want to know if you think it should be a children's book, if you think it should be a one-woman show, or if it should be a movie. The title is, I was supposed to be Meghan Markle, but my anxiety disorder got in the way. What do you think I should do with that? To have, again, more women's stories out there.
What do you think? Maybe a show, a one-woman show.
Okay, I've got Geena Davis's approval.
There you go.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Good luck
Thank
with
you
that.
for being
Good
here
luck.
today.
Thank you.
Let's go over to this mic.
Could you tell us a little more about this pumpkin carving expertise?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You owe her.
I know.
You owe her. It's all that happened was, when my kids were little, I bought a Martha Stewart pumpkin carving kit. And if you get that kit.
I'm going to get that. I'm writing it down right now.
Because instead of cutting a hole all the way through, you scrape off the outer layer. And so the candle glows through, and you could make portraits and all that. Anyway.
You can make portraits.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Martha Stewart pumpkin carving kit.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you for that question.
I think I'm too tall for this microphone. Hi, Ms. Davis. You're even more beautiful in person, I gotta say.
As you were.
Earth Girls are easy as a formative experience for me, so I just thank you.
Thank you.
I don't want to interrupt your question, but I do have to say something on this.
What?
Because my mom took me to that movie when I was a kid. I know. We're already horrified. But Jeff Goldblum plays a character named Mac.
Oh, right.
And I was sitting next to my mom. It was a very complicated experience. It was formative for me as well.
Yeah. And thank you. I've got a niece who's a tall, so I'm gonna get your book and get it for her right away. But I also wanted to ask you about your experience with the Stuart Little books, because that required viewing for many in my family. I don't know if that played a role in getting you on the children's literature path at all.
Not really, but I was thrilled to be in, first of all, it's great to be in a story that was a book first. I've been in a couple of those, but I loved it. And the weirdest thing was that, of course, Stuart is not there. They couldn't even put a little fake mouse because they would have to erase it to put the CGI mouse in. So we were like, where is he? He's right there. Well, is that his feet or his head? Just look at that dot, okay. And we're like pouring our hearts out. And, at one point, he fell down the sink, and I pick him up, and it's emotional. And I'm kissing him, and the director says, Geena, yeah, look at your hand. Where's Stuart?
You crushed Stuart Little.
I have my fist closed. So then, okay, all right, keep going. And he says, where's his head? But that was my experience. Like a children's book. Thank you.
Okay, yes, it is my turn. Hello. I have always admired several of your film roles, and I've been very excited
Thank you
to meet
so much,
with.
by the way. Thank
And
you.
I have a question.
Honey,
Yeah.
this is about me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yes, indeed. So, anyway, I have followed the work that you do in your namesake institute on improving the representation of male and female characters in media. And what is one type of character that you're looking forward to seeing in an upcoming film?
Well, we don't just look at the numbers, of course, and we also look at what are their ambitions, what are their dreams, what's their goal, and what do they do? And one of the things we really look at is STEM careers, science, engineering, technology, and math. And women are profoundly underrepresented in those fields. And we found that when there are female scientists, they have a horrible private life. They have to give up everything to pursue this career, and they get discriminated against at work, like in fiction. So we're trying to work on that. But I'll tell you one thing: we did a study of women who currently work in STEM. What made you want to, pursue this career? And 63% said Dana Scully character from X-Files. The majority of women working in STEM now name one character on one TV show, as we can imagine, what could happen if we change that.
Indeed, so a scientific woman.
Yes.
I'll remember that for my next book.
Awesome, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm a film student and aspiring professional filmmaker, and the work you've done with your institute has just inspired me so much. So my question is, what do you think is the most important thing in a baseline to keep in mind when creating media for equal representation for women?
Well, I think you have to keep in mind your own unconscious bias. And I think that's what happens is that because a lot of the producers and writers, directors are males, and you of course have a female character if she needs to be female, but for the sheriff and the lawyer and the neighbor, in your mind, it's a guy, and so that's the thing to do is, even if you're not thinking about that while you're writing it, after you write it, go through and say, who can become female? Who can have a disability? Who can be an older character, a different body type or whatever? So you have to make very conscious choices if you want to conquer your unconscious bias.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
And we have 1 minute left. I think this will be our last question. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, Ms. Davis. I'm a big fan. My name's Molly, and I had a question regarding your book. So you said the illustrations took you 2 years to make. Now, obviously that takes a lot of craft, but I want to know if you dealt with procrastination or just pushing it off, and not even just with writing a book or if, in everyday tasks or reading a script. How do you deal with your procrastination? How do you get to the end point?
I am the biggest procrastinator in the universe. I mean, I have ADHD. I don't have the age part, but I have ADD. And I'll put off everything. And that was part of the problem, why it took so long. I had to get extensions twice because I love to draw, but then when it's a job and I have a deadline and everything, of course I have to do this crossword puzzle beforehand. I have to read all the news. What are these TikToks anyway? What is that all about?
I have to do the mini before I do anything during the day.
What's that?
I have to do the New York Times mini crossword before I do anything.
Yes, exactly. Do you do strands also?
Oh my gosh, I love strands and connections and spelling bee, Wordle. I do it all. It wasn't a fad for me.
I do all of them.
It wasn't a fad. I do it every day.
There's a new one. Anyway.
Oh, yes. The dominoes. I do that too. Yes.
Anyway, I don't know
We
how
can
to
talk about
conquer
that
it,
later.
But we'll talk about it later. But the solution I came to for the drawings was I hired a babysitter.
Wait, but what about if you don't have kids? How do you deal with your procrastination?
It was grown-up babysitter. It was. No. It was for me.
Oh my God.
I hired a person to come and sit in a chair and say, now what are you drawing? How's that one coming? You didn't finish the other one yet. Do you want to?
So I should get a grown-up babysitter for me?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Find maybe an elderly neighbor or something. You want to come by?
Okay. Wait, can you be my grown-up babysitter?
No.
Let's hear it for Geena Davis, everybody.